Okay, so hello, lovelies, and I'm so sorry. You would have seen my quick live that I did before. I've had major internet issues here. It's super frustrating. If you're in Dubai, let me know if you experience the same. But even with some things that I'm using at the moment to help me with my internet, it's still creating a bit of an issue. But we will persevere. And as I sort of said on my quick live, I suppose it keeps us resilient, doesn't it? So I have been experiencing this the last few weeks, about the power of resilience and really pushing through when things get hard, and things just sometimes just don't work. And as frustrating as that is, we just have to keep going. I was speaking to somebody about success the other day, and their business, and how they're feeling at the moment. And it's hard sometimes. It's like we're wading through treacle. We're not sure whether we're going to make it. And there's an amazing quote. I don't know who it's from, but it's an amazing quote saying successful people hang on when everyone else has given up or they've fallen off. So if you are one of those people who want to be successful, in their career, in their business, you just have to hang on, and it's usually at that sort of point where things are getting really tough, and, you are doing a lot of things, which we're going to talk about today, getting out there with networking and connecting with people and really trying to give value, that you feel that, maybe, this is it. And, you need some more traction. And look, I'm here to say that I've sort of reinvented myself quite a few times after maternity leave, and twice now, and now rebranding my company. So, you just got to keep going. Just keep going. So, a couple of housekeeping rules. Hopefully that's motivated you a bit this morning. I feel even pumped up myself saying it. A couple of housekeeping. Firstly, if you want to come to the live event, it's on the 9th of April, and it is from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Lots of networking. Come and meet us. Come and say hello to myself. And Amelia will be there. She's so lucky at the moment. She's vacationing in Mauritius. So come and see us. Kim will be doing a bit of a presentation and a speech about communication and building our confidence, in any situation. But then there's also time for networking and connecting with each other. So, it's time to then come and practice, your networking, skills, and how you're presenting yourself. And it's a really fun event and a really relaxed morning. It's going to be at the Souk Al Bahar, the Impact Hub. Really super easy to get there, free parking, grab your Starbucks coffee and head on in. It's child friendly. I'm saying that because you are able to bring your bubba along if you've got a little bubba. If they're at school, obviously they're back at school because it's the 9th of April. Let's see whether I've got Mackenzie on my hip on the 9th of April. Let's see. Anyway, so we're diving into this humongous topic of networking and how to increase your networking success. Now, obviously, the success and networking means different things to different people. So I've got a few slides here, just to keep me on track, because I really just want this to be a quick half an hour, 30-minute webinar. And really to have a couple of focal points. I think I said to you in the live video to have a think about a couple of things. Firstly, that it's amazing how many people we actually know in our network when we actually do a deep dive in, to our, immediate network. And secondly, what are you doing at the moment, to get out there, to get your business out there? How are you doing this? So let's deep dive in. Let me share my screen. So I'll probably disappear. I'll be appearing in the top hand corner. And let me do the slideshow for you. You should still be able to see me. And there I am up the top. So let's quickly get into it. So pretty much I'm going to help you today on a few things. Firstly, I'm going to help you with a couple of things with networking. So I wanted to give you a little bit of an overview of who I am, because I don't think I said much on the last live, or maybe I did. I don't know. But look, let me give you a bit of an overview. So I'm an Australian, if you can't tell from my very attractive accent. No, I'm only joking. I have been living here in Dubai for 12 years now. Dubai, the reason why I moved here was because of my husband's work, 12 years ago. The company that we both worked for, when we met each other in the UK, called him up one Sunday and said, come on over, we've got a great job for you. So, that's how we ended up here. And 12 years later, and 2 babies, as you can see on the right-hand side, we are still here. So I love the multicultural aspect of this country. I have worked throughout the Middle East, Saudi, Oman, Qatar, Kuwait, and obviously here in Dubai. I work with clients, and I have in Southeast Asia, so Hong Kong, Singapore, Taiwan. Then I've done some work for big companies down in Australia still. And I also work here in the Middle East. So originally, my background is, heading talent departments and human resource departments. So I've been in, major senior roles within multinational companies here and obviously abroad. And I've learned so much, from flitting, from being a consultant actually for the past 6 years and going really in and out of these companies. So, hopefully I can give you some, sort of personal perspectives and that, as this group grows and as, we really deep dive into, how to build your business, and thinking about it not just local, where you are, but thinking about it as, a global business. Where are you wanting to reach? So let's deep dive into that in a minute. So I started my consulting practice back in 2013. Supporting a lot of clients with HR projects. It could be, going in and with a major recruitment program. It could be compensation and benefits overview, a lot of 360 stuff, working with Towers Watson, working with Myers-Briggs, and doing all of that. So I then just came across coaching in 2014. I read an article from a woman, and she was talking about this thing called coaching, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is what I've been doing. So I decided to get some more qualifications, and in 2014 started incorporating that into my business and supporting the teams within my HR clients, with, people in career transitions, people who are in leadership roles, who need more support on how to manage their teams. And then I also developed a private clientele as well, where I would take on clients who were in career transition, who were felt stuck, not sure where to go and where to turn, and really worked with them on putting together action plans and working out their personality types and really focusing on them, with a new career. So that's sort of where I've taken it. About a year ago, I rebranded because of the sort of direction my business was taking as far as the coaching side was going, really attracting more women, still in career, but also those who were wanting to shift from working for somebody in corporate into building their own business, which was amazing for me because, I've learned so much over the past, 6 years. I'm now just getting online, but as I'll explain to you in a minute, the last 6 years have been referral based through networking. So it's been incredible. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. And hopefully I'm going to launch my website in April, and it's another frustration. If you understand that, please give me some high fives, but look, we're going to get there. So that's a little bit about me. So this is Henry here. He will be 8 in July, and this is little Mackenzie, who will be 2 next month. So yes, that's me. So diving in, I want you to ask yourself a couple of questions. Firstly, would you like more customers in your business? How are you currently getting your business out there? Okay. Are you using networking groups? Are you networking online? Please have a think about it. Let's write this stuff down. You know, you can use this, listen to this video again and again, you know, write it all down. How do you feel about networking? Do you love it? Do you love talking to people? Do you hate it? You can't stand it? You couldn't think of anything worse than meeting strangers, you know, at a networking event? Or you have a bit of a love-hate relationship, you know, you really enjoy meeting people and learning about what they're doing, you know, but you feel a little bit icky with feeling like you're selling and the conversations don't go smoothly. So really sort of think about, you know, how you feel about it in general. And also, when you think about that, think about how do you feel about where your business is at the moment? Are you just at starting out point? Are you, you know, wanting to, you know, really, are you at that growth point where you're really sort of trying to make those connections to then try to bring in more clients into your business or customers if you're a product-based business, you know, and where are you? Are you at that startup? Are you in the middle? Or yay, are you in full swing? And we go through ebbs and flows, you know, within our business. So, you know, especially if you rebrand or you take a different direction, you know, it will look like this. You know, this is business. It definitely does not look like this. And to be honest with you, you don't want it to look like this. You want it to be, you know, exciting and adventurous and, you know, challenging, because it pushes you beyond belief. You know, that's what you want. So, and you really need to have a clear vision of what you want for your business, because at the end of the day, if you do not have a clear vision, you cannot network and you cannot connect with people properly. So, because it comes across in everything that you do, the way you speak with people, how you tell them about what you do and how you help people and how you give value. If you are confused about it and you don't have that big mission, that big vision, then you'll be stuck. And, you know, unfortunately, you just will be, you know, and it won't come naturally. So, you know, this is something that you need to, you know, sit down with a pen and paper, and Amelia would, you know, went over this as well within her presentation, you know, writing down your ideal avatar, so your ideal client or customer, you know, and really feel, you know, what you want, you know, to bring, you know, out of your business. So what does your business stand for? What do you stand for? So deep dive into, you know, your values and your beliefs. And, you know, this will then help you when it comes to speaking with people and promoting your business, whether that be on social media, whether that be within a networking situation, or whether it be, you know, through your emails and your content. You know, it's so important. Okay. So today we'll cover a few things. Okay. And I'll try and keep this webinar, I'm just looking at my watch, to 30 minutes because I really want it to be, you know, short and sweet and you guys to get stuff out of this. So let's cover these, you know, 5 steps. So let's get clear on why networking should be a part of your marketing plan. Let's see why it's so important that you have a solid network that you can call on again and again. Let's build some confidence, you know, and get some sort of shift in a mindset. So when you do go to these networking events, you know, that doesn't take over and then, you know, keep you from expressing, you know, yourself and expressing the value that you can give from your business. You know, why you need to ditch this thing called the elevator pitch. And I've got a few tips on how to swap that, you know, swap it around to be a little bit more meaningful and a little bit more authentic. And the number one thing that I do and that others do that people probably haven't told you. So, you know, let's go through some of this. So let's jump into it. So why should networking be a part of your business plan? Why? Have a think about it. Have a real think about sort of networking, and when you've gone to networking events or if you've, you know, networked with somebody online, you know, what's the most exciting part of it? You know, people now, you know, want to do business with people. You know, this whole shift in the algorithm change on Facebook is purely because Mark Zuckerberg wanted to create a more authentic way of communicating. So he wants to have people do business with people, not, in a sort of stale environment where we just keep on selling and selling and selling. He wants to have more communication, and this is just business in general. Okay, it's not good enough that we say to ourselves that, we are the best. I'm the best coach in the world. I'm the best consultant. Well, you know what, Carla, it's not good enough. People want to know sort of what you bring, what value do you bring? So it's not good enough just to be great at what you do. So how can you solve their problems? And again, it comes back to people. My personality resonates with some people and probably won't resonate with others. So, but when you sort of meet clients, and this goes for product-based businesses as well, when you think about your favorite brands, okay? Think about the beautiful brands. I'm thinking, actually, the one thing that comes to the mind now is Jo Malone, the beautiful fragrances. And when I go into her shops, I mean, just the experience, and you feel that you're sort of connected to the owner. When you shop online, when your favorite boutiques, your, favorite coffee shop, why do you go in to get coffee from that particular shop? Right? It's because you probably connect with the person across from the counter. You have a connection with the owners. My favorite coffee shop and my favorite restaurant here is the Bistro Cafe in Almanara, which is where I started holding these networking events. And why I liked it so much is I was one of their first customers, within the first couple of months, that they opened. And the owners and I, we got talking, and they've got kids the sort of same age as Henry and Mackenzie, and the feel of it, and I love the people in there, and it's the people again. Okay, so now as far as sort of your network is where you sort of can call on people and work opportunities at any given time. Let's go to the next point. So you need to create a network where you can have constantly people to support you, to give guidance, to refer you on as somebody who can help somebody else in their business, or product-based business. I love this product, go buy it from this person. She's amazing. So, and it's the best way through networking to create, as you would have heard, that know, like, and trust factor. People want to see you. People want to see your face. So, it's so important that people connect with you, and people want to see people face to face now. They just do. And the last point is so important. Your network, and you may have heard this or you may have not have heard this before, is your net worth. Your network is your net worth. Now, you may or may not believe this, I don't know, but this is something that I have fallen back on time and time again. So if I'm needing new clients or needing to get a corporate contract, because I want money and cash flow coming in the door, I am knocking on people's doors of, hiya, I'm here, how can I help you? How can I help you in your business? How can I, help you, with your people, whatever it might be. It is where the money generation comes. And, with social media and everything that's out there and your website, it's so key to have. And hence why I'm it's your storefront, which is why I'm going online next week. But, it is also a very slow process to get people through the door if that's what you're solely, relying on. If you're solely relying on people just to show up to your website, it's just not going to happen. But you go to networking events and you connect with people, and you tell them what you're doing in an exciting and enthusiastic way, and they'll go to your site, and eventually they'll become customers. So, and I love my quotes. So, this is one of my favorite quotes as well, that, human connection is the key to career and life success. And it is. It just is. So the first step that I want you to really sort of write down, and hopefully you've got a pen and paper, and you can really sort of brainstorm this now, or you can listen to me and then brainstorm it after. But the first step I want you to do is get really clear on why you want to network. Okay, of course we all want to bring more sales into our business, and that's that's a key factor. But you need to deep dive a little bit more into this. Why are you wanting it? Why are you wanting to connect with these people? Is it to create new connections, business contacts, collaboration opportunities, more exposure because maybe you want to, get more press for your business. Maybe you want to be on podcasts. Maybe you want to be on the radio. Maybe you want to be in magazine spreads. Whatever it might be, you really need to, really nail, some specific outcomes that you want from these networking events. And they can be as extensive or as, minimal, as you like, but, make it really clear in your mind. So then when you go to these events, you really have that purpose in the back of your head. So it's so key. Drop some ideas down and some notes. Okay. The next point I want to go for is, this sort of, I don't know, not myth, but, this stress about, your mind and how you approach these networking events. I come across people all the time who, maybe don't see the value in networking, are scared of networking, the thought of approaching strangers. What do I say? How do I say it? Which I'll be able to help you with as well in a sec when we get to those slides. But, your mind is everything. If you go into a situation in a negative attitude of, this is not going to work for me, I'm not going to meet anybody, they're going to think I'm an idiot, it's going to work out that way. But if you go into it in a positive attitude of, I'm going in there, I'm going to meet 3 amazing people, and I'm going to come out with, connections with these 3 people, and we're going to meet up and we're going to have coffee and we're going to talk about our businesses in more depth and see how we can collaborate. So if you approach it with a positive attitude, it will always set you up for success. Okay. And do this. I mean, I use a lot of visualization techniques, and whether you are a meditator, whether you believe in it, whether you don't, whether you think it's woo-woo, it doesn't really matter. For me, it works. Okay. So I have been doing visualizations since I was 16. This is no word of a lie. So, and it came about because I was getting massive migraines. So 16, I was in year 11, going into year 12, which is like sort of the last year of school. Things were super stressful, and I used to get them all the time. And my father introduced me to visualizations and taking me through a process of relaxing my mind to be able to refocus and concentrate on, specific things that I had, to achieve, basically. And every time I would do a visualization with him and we would sit quietly, and he would go through this, it would get rid of my migraine, it would make me feel more motivated, and I wouldn't feel as stressed out. And, this is what I've been using in several situations, that I've been in. I use a visualization board. I have a vision board for myself for, my goals, and I do it every quarter. But, just visualizing how you want the networking session to go. Lay down, close your eyes, and actually visualize yourself walking in, to the environment, shaking people's hands, feeling relaxed, the energy and the conversations coming easily. And this will really help you, set yourself up when you go into these networking situations. So it's an amazing tool. You can listen to some relaxation music. You know, you can do it, you know, you can sit quietly, however you want to do it. You can do it in the car before you actually walk in. So, you know, it's such an empowering thing to do. So, you know, and think of the positive impact. Like I've said here, imagine meeting and connecting with amazing people and what the positive impact would be. So, you know, going back to, my spelling there, but the career bit, you know, has moved to 2 sentences. But I wanted to sort of talk about, you know, when I held the last event before Amelia's talked, I said something which I think resonated with quite a few people, but it was about me setting up this networking event. And it purely came out of a need, you know, for myself, that I wanted to connect with more women. You know, I wanted to be able to take my baby along and still have, you know, business connections, because she was constantly sick, and you know, I don't have a babysitter. I rely on a nursery system. Yes, we can go down that track another time. I'm super organized, so we can do another webinar about that. But I wanted to take her, and I want to have the opportunity to still speak with amazing women. So, you know, it came organically, and things came through my mind before I sent out that first email, before I set up that first meetup, was, you know, what if nobody came? What if I sat in that coffee shop all by myself? You know, what if, you know, people thought I was insane? Who is this person? Never heard of her in my life before. You know, all these things. So, you know, I did a lot of, you know, visualizing about how I wanted it to go, you know, visualizing the people I wanted to meet, the women that I wanted to come along, you know, to my workshops and to the, you know, to a coffee meetup, you know, and it really helped me, because, you know, my whole thing is, you know, what if I just meet, you know, 1 or 2 women? You know, what is the purpose of my networking event and me networking? It was to meet women in business who want to share their challenges, their successes, you know, tips and tricks on how to, you know, keep going, you know, especially, you know, when we hit that tough route. And, you know, what if I just met 1 or 2 people? And, you know, I've met so many women, you know, over the last couple of months, and formed really amazing bonds with them. And look, and especially Amelia, you know, she and I connected in January, you know, and look where it's sort of taken us. So, you know, think about it that way, and it will help you overcome. And look, if you're completely petrified and you don't want to come, you know, by yourself, bring a buddy with you. Rope her in, go, you know, come with me, I'll buy you a coffee, you know, whatever it takes. You know, if you need a wing woman, then get somebody. But to be honest with you, you know, mindset plays just the most massive part, you know, in our success. So, you know, and 80% of it, and this is in business, this is across the board, career, business, you know, attitude toward your life, your family, 80% of it is mindset. 20% of it is action. So really be aware of your mind and how you're going into these events. So let's get into the nitty gritty. How and where to network. And hopefully I don't have any spelling mistakes on these slides, but if I do, that's life. So the first thing is evaluate your contacts. And I think I said on the live event, the live that I just did before, you know, did you know, and it was an amazing fact, that we can list out at least 250 people that we know. I'm not joking. If you go to your phone now, if you go on LinkedIn, if you go on Facebook and any other social media platform that you're on, that you have a connection with people, I can guarantee you can come up with a list of 250 people. Now that is an immediate network you can dive into. Okay, this is a network where you can share your new business, right? You can write them an email saying, you know, guess what, Fiona? I'm just picking a name out the board, out of thin air. Fiona, I am opening this amazing business, and this is what I provide for people: X, Y, and Z. You know, if you know anybody who would be interested, you know, pass this email along. Connect with me. You know, it is an amazing resource to tap into. And, you know, if you really sort of, you know, dig deep, I mean, you can come up with probably 500 people or more. I mean, just think about it. Think about your extended network. And then obviously then that grows from there. Who do they know? Who can they introduce you to? And it's like it's a web. So really write down exactly, who you can get in touch with immediately and who might be, be able to help you, spread the news of your business around. So the next thing is sort of on or offline. I like to do both. So I network in person a lot, and this could be in a group format, so going to similar events like I hold. It also could be in a single format. I might meet somebody on LinkedIn, like I've met another person on LinkedIn during this week, and we're going to catch up for a quick coffee next week. And it could be something, a one-on-one or a group situation. I also do online networking, and I'm not talking about liking people's stuff on Instagram. I'm talking about connecting with somebody, maybe on social media, again on LinkedIn, and they might not be in the same location as I am, but we will set up a virtual Skype date. Okay? And we will say, let's connect at 10 o'clock and let's have a bit of a chat about our businesses and how we can maybe help each other. I just did this again last week. I at least do 1 or 2 of these a week. No joke. Guys, my business has run over the past 6 years from networking, and this is the way I do it. Okay. Where I can tap in, I have got some of my biggest corporate clients from networking and people recommending me. And this has all been through my network. The same with my coaching clientele. Somebody coaches with me, they get results, they get value. They then refer me, to somebody else, who's looking for the same outcome. So it's amazing. So I set up at least 1 or 2 of these a week, these Skype virtual coffee dates. The in person, I don't do every week. I mean, I just can't physically. But if I was new, and getting out there, I'd be out there all the time if I just started a business. So, there are some amazing events, and I think Renette asked a question about how to actually work out whether which event is right for you. And this is where you really need to sort of dive in and do some research about the events that are going on. I think Renette, I think you're based in Singapore, if I'm correct. And I love Singapore. I've been there so many times, and I've worked with a lot of people out there. And there are some key events that you can go to, and some local events. Now, paid events I pay for, if they are going to give me some return on investment, if I'm going to meet some amazing people which could potentially help me in the future, I don't mind, paying for them. If it's a workshop that I really want to go to, of course, I'm going to pay for it. But tap into a lot of the free events that they're offering in Singapore, and there's loads of free events, here in Dubai as well. So, but do some research around. So, our goal is obviously to increase our sales, okay? So have a look at where your clientele, is hanging out. Where are your customers hanging out? So, and that's where you want to be. Where are maybe some potential people who are doing similar things to you, who you could potentially collaborate with? Where are they hanging out? What networking events are they going to? Because it's all about there's twofold. There's obviously going in and getting the customers and connecting with customers firsthand, but there's also doing it from a collaboration point of view. So I collaborate a lot. So this will be things such as getting on people's podcasts, which I've been doing a lot lately, which has been one of my goals for 2018. This has been collaborating maybe in some trainings that I've been doing. I've connected with somebody back down in Australia again, and she's doing some training work actually out of Macau at the moment, of all places. But, there could be some potential of me, spending some time with her and helping her there. So, I do a lot of collaboration, and, it really it really pays off in the end, and you know, people just love collaborating. So if you are you know, connecting with people that complement your business, you know, this is the way you can get your name out there as well. So I'm just trying to think of a good example. So say if I was like a personal trainer, I would, like, you know, then connect with maybe somebody in the like holistic or nutrition route, and maybe put on a workshop or do a webinar, you know, and collaborate that way. I mean, look at Amelia and I. You know, Amelia is a website and branding coach. A website and branding. You know, she is a coach as well, actually, as well as you know, she designs it for her clients. You know, the websites. You know, then I, on the other hand, am, you know, a career and startup business coach. So, you know, we complement each other. You know, there are things that each other have learned. We can come together, you know, and hold events, you know, and obviously do this group, which we're doing at the moment. So, you know, and it doesn't matter if it overlaps. It doesn't matter. So I think we have this sort of view of like, oh, I can't collaborate with her. She does this sort of similar same thing as me, and you know, oh, what, you know, what's going to happen? And forget about it. You know, forget about thinking about somebody as your competition. Yeah, forget about it, because you know, there are clients out there for everyone. Okay, people are going to connect with you because there's only one you. There's only one you. Yeah, there's only one Renette. There's only one, you know, Layla. There's only one Kyla. There's only one Amelia. You know, and people connect with the individual, you know, and who they resonate with the most. And I can guarantee you, you know, once you nail down your ideal client, you know, that is when things will sort of, you know, really, you know, take on a life of its own, and really gain traction. So you know, it doesn't matter, you know, whether you overlap. So now the other thing was you know, how to approach people online, and I've sort of touched base on this. You know, if I'm approaching somebody online for collaboration, I'm approaching it in the way of you know, how we can help each other. Okay, so how, you know, how can I help her, and how can, you know, she help me? You know, if there's an overlap there, again, it doesn't matter. You know, maybe it's like the other week when I've connected with this lady who does, who has a training company down in Australia. She's a trainer. I'm a trainer as well. You know, she's doing mentor coaching as well with leaders in Australia. You know, I do that here as well. Doesn't matter that we're doing, you know, the same thing. No, because, you know, she has a different way of doing it, and she has a different personality to me. So her approach to each client will be different, just like mine is. So I really want you to keep that in mind, that, you know, collaboration is just so key. And, you know, and I'm going to keep going on and on about this. So, yeah. And the next thing is, you know, ditch the elevator pitch. Just ditch it. Forget about going into these networking events and selling your product, okay? You know, people want to hear about you, you know, and then, you know, if it gets to the stage of, you know, you're talking about what you do and what you give, you know, then that's when you can, you know, go in and talk about, you know, the value that you give people. You know, I wouldn't be going in and, you know, selling your services right off the bat. You know, how do you help people? How do you help people? You know, how do you give the most value? You know, that's what you need to lead with. I mean, have you ever been at networking events where you go in and people are at you and throwing their business card at you, you know, and you're like, they're, you know, trying to pick up 1,000 business cards, and you feel like icky and awkward and uncomfortable because, you know, maybe you don't have a pitch ready, or, you know, you're not comfortable with what you're selling, or whatever it might be. But being in those sort of networking environments is not nice. So approaching it in a different way will also make you stand out. It'll make you stand out. people remember you, if you, approach it in a different way of, talking about their business first and what did they do? And then, you can slowly put in, oh, that's amazing. I work with my clients with this, or I sell this type of product, and it's, sorry, I just skipped over. I don't know what happened there. It was sort of the way, sorry, let me just go back into my slides. It's the way that you get people, attracted to you, to be honest with you. So, give without expectation. And that is my number one secret. And you would have seen it on the next slide. But it is the way that I get clients, and I always lead with, how can I help you? How can I be of, value to you? What do you need help with? What are you struggling with? And whenever I approach it from that way, it always leads to something. It might not lead to something straight away. It might not lead to, thousands of clients, but it might lead me to, a little client who will then refer me on to a bigger client, who will then refer me on to, a major client, and a key part of my business. And this is the same with customers, you're talking to customers, they refer your product on, and then so forth. So, giving without expectation, go into these events, from a place of, giving, and a place of, how can I give value to somebody today? Give somebody a small tip, help somebody with their business, help somebody with their career, whatever they're struggling with, whatever networking event, you're going to. Renee, I think you're in social media, and, if you go to these events, give somebody a tip on, how they can increase their social media following, a little tip on, any little tip, because, giving value, and you can never give enough value. You can never give enough value. And it will never take business away from you. Okay. If anything, it will bring more business to you, because people will be like, wow, I just learned something today from her. That's amazing. What else does she have to give? What else can I learn from her? And then they'll go check you out. They'll go write you an email saying, I love meeting you today, and so forth. So, it will never, for me, it's always been a positive thing. And that's another thing, follow up after your networking events. And this is, very basic, information, but if you get 5 business cards, drop them an email, say hi, lovely to meet you. Hopefully we can meet again soon, again, without expectation. Really follow up, because not many people follow up. And you probably have seen this as well. You go to a networking event, you'll give out your card. Nobody will call you and say, thanks, lovely to meet you. A very small percentage. But be that person, that stands out amongst the crowd, and follow up with them. So, like I said here, action is the foundation and the key to all success. I love my quotes. I really do. So, really, get out there. I really encourage you. If you're worried or not sure how to network, or you want to practice, come to my networking event on the 9th. Have a chat with me, have a chat with everyone who's there. Get on this group, speak out more on this group. This group is here to support you and to help you grow, your business, but also, grow yourself. I find that my business journey over the past 6 years, and I say this a lot, that it has been the best personal development course I have ever been on, because it pushes you beyond belief. It tests you until you think, I just can't do this anymore and I want to give up. It creates resilience, and you come out a stronger person in the end. And that is, you know, then how you grow as a person. And that's what I want to teach my kids as well. So, you know, if I grow and I learn things, you know, I can obviously pass that along. So, you know, I really want to sort of leave you with you know, one thought, and I think I said this at the beginning of the video, you know, the video, is that, you know, successful people hang on when everyone else has dropped off or has fallen off or is not anymore. Be that one person, be that last person standing. It'll be worth it in the end. And I really want to know some takeaways from this webinar. If you liked it, if you got anything out of it, I really hope that it has, you know, given you some motivation to get out there, you know, to spread the news of your business, and, you know, really have some confidence, you know, in getting out there. And I think one person has also asked me a couple of, you know, things as far as, you know, introductory questions, you know, to ask, and to, you know, how to sort of start a conversation. And I have an amazing question, actually, and I might even use this on you guys when I you know, at the networking event. But I took somebody aback at our last networking event I went to by asking them what their superpower was. What their superpower was. This woman approached me, and she was just she sort of was introducing her business and you know, selling as they do. And I just turned around to her and I went, that's amazing. So what's your superpower? Because all I heard about was, you know, the attributes of her product, you know, like I have this and I have this and this service and this service. Okay, but the value, you know, what superpower do you have? And it took her back. She actually didn't really know how to answer it. She did a good job in the end, but she said to me, that is an amazing question. And it is. I mean, think about yourself. What's your superpower? You know, what do you have to give? And that's what I want to leave you with today. So if you ever want to touch base with me, I'm inside the group all the time. You can always get me on the email. You can always have a look and jump over on social media, because I hang out there as well. And my website will be coming in April. But my main focus is obviously within this group as well. So please leave me a comment underneath this webinar if you've got any more questions to do with networking, or if I can help you in any other way. It is a huge topic. And it is something that we can revisit over and over again. And I have absolutely no problem doing this. So, you know, please, you know, send me your questions. Sorry, I've stopped screen sharing now. Send me your questions. You know, I am more than happy. As you can see, I'm in the group and I chat along, and so is Amelia. You know, we are there to help you and help each other. Don't necessarily wait for posts to go out. If you have a question, just post it in the group. Or if you want to comment on something or motivate somebody for the day, post it in the group. So enough. I've been going on for 40 minutes. See, this is why I have slideshows to keep me on track, because I babble. So lovely having you all here. I wish you an amazing week, an amazing rest of your week. Enjoy the Easter weekend, which is coming up. I'm sure everyone will be eating loads of chocolate eggs. So enjoy that, and I'll speak to you soon inside the group. So thanks so much. See you later, everybody. Bye.